Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where of course we are going to be discussing the full fallout from El Clasico, because there is so much to go into and so many questions right now that we as fans have towards this team. Today we're going to be discussing whether Xavi is under pressure following defeat to Real Madrid. We're also going to be discussing the big issue of Sergio Busquets in this Barcelona team. And we are also going to be discussing, guys, and this is another key topic, why, in my opinion, our attack right now, it is an absolute mess. We're going to be discussing Raphinha and Dembele and their roles in this team and what can be done to improve our setup. There is brutal honesty on the way. There is everything today laid on the line for you, because it's time to talk. And let's get to it. Because if we do, first of all, kick off with Xavi's assessment of the Clasico, the performance from his team, and indeed the decisions that he made going into it. He said, we had our moment. He said, I don't think that we were bad in the first half. He said, I feel that we dominated Madrid. I have the feeling that we had our chances. He said, though, in the second half, they were very good. They were able to dominate us at times, and we lacked a lot of decisiveness. Now, already, I would kind of question whether we really dominated Madrid. You know, it depends how you define that word, really, because in the first half we did have a lot of the ball. We did spend a lot of time in their half. But like I said in the match review, did we ever really put them under that pressure? Did we really make significant inroads into that Real Madrid defence? Or were they comfortable with Barça playing the ball around in front of them? Xavi did say, though, he did openly admit, if we want to win this type of match, we've got to change our mentality. He said we have to be more aggressive. He said in the end, yeah, we showed a lot of belief, but he said it's not enough. It's a bad day, we're in a bad dynamic, and we have to change it now. We've got to be more mature, and we have to compete much better. And I'm glad to hear Xavi there openly questioning the team's mentality, openly saying, look, we have to change to win these kind of games. And he said we have to learn the hard way. At this level, we've got to play much better. He said, I won't blame the players. I'm the one responsible. I'll explain what happened. It's my mistake with the specific errors. He said we have to change the dynamic, though, because the season, it is long. So Xavi, they're choosing to protect his players after El Clasico, making sure there that all the attention, all of the criticism perhaps, is focused on him. But I think what we have to do here, whether it's with Xavi, whether it's with individual players, we've got to be open about our situation, because in order to correct these mistakes, in order to address these errors, we have to first of all identify them. And that is what we're going to do next. Because glaring problem number one for Xavi and indeed this team right now, I am sorry to say, but it's Sergio Busquets. Because he is a player who over the course of his career I have admired. I have absolutely savoured watching him at the base of our midfield. But right now, in this moment, in this season, he cannot continue in this Barcelona team. He started our crucial game at the Camp Nou against Inter in the Champions League. He put in a bad performance. He made a big error there that led to Inter's second goal. He was subbed then by Xavi after an hour. Frankie came on in his place and played very, very well. Now, after that game, let's not forget, Busquets openly came out and said, the disappointment that we suffered against Inter, the feeling that we have right now, we will be affected by this result on Sunday in El Clasico. And that is why, guys, I'm astounded that Xavi still started him. Looking at the performance against Inter, looking at the mentality that he showed after that game, why, oh why, would you play him in the massive game on Sunday against Real Madrid? I don't understand it. And to absolutely nobody's surprise, he's at fault for a goal. Toni Kroos, like I say, glides past him. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely shocking there to be outfought, outpaced by Kroos in midfield. It's unacceptable. And again, Xavi subs him after an hour, sort of recognising the mistake. Xavi comes on, we restructure our midfield, and we improve a lot later in the second half. And what's it going to take? Genuinely, guys, what is it going to take now? You start him against Inter, you bring him off, we improve. You start him against Real Madrid, you bring him off, we improve again. What is it going to take for Xavi Xavi to say maybe he's not starting material anymore, because Xavi is capable of dropping him. He is capable there of dropping his former teammates. You might call them his friends. It's not like he doesn't have the will and the character to do it. Piqué and Alba, they sat on the bench this weekend. Yet again, in a big game, they are benched. But when it comes to Busquets, why is it so different? Because I often hear when it comes to Xavi and Busquets, Busquets is a key part of Xavi's project at Barça. Everything Xavi is working to do, Busquets is at the hub of it in midfield. But number one, how can you have a player whose contract expires at the end of the season be the key part of your project? How does that work? What's your plan then when he's not there anymore? And whenever we talk about replacing Busquets in big games, when we talk about him not being in the team anymore, we're always told Busquets is irreplaceable. No other player can replicate what he gives to the team. And like I say, in his prime, that was true. He was unique. He was unbelievable in that position. But right here, right now, he is not irreplaceable. It is a joke to suggest that we can't replace him. Please, could somebody tell me what Busquets is giving us right now that another player could not? It is nonsense to say that. And we spoke just a few days ago about trying to move on, to move forward, to look forward, putting some trust at last in Frenkie de Jong, in midfield, in the pivot role. And that's not even the only option. Because look, if Xavi really doesn't want to do it, if he doesn't see de Jong as a lone defensive midfielder, then you don't have to play him on his own. Because why are we so reluctant to have any sort of change, any sort of restructuring in that midfield? Why not change things around a little bit? You've got Franck Kessié, you've got Frenkie, two players there who would thrive playing together, both of them in a deeper role, then push a midfielder on to be a bit more advanced. But this is the problem that I have right now at Barca, and that we've seen in recent times. As football is evolving, as teams and systems are moving on, moving forward, sometimes at Barca it almost feels as though we'd rather be more stubborn. We'd rather be stubborn, stick to our formation, stick to the rigid setup that we have. Don't change. We won't change, no matter what, even if it's actively hurting us. And I think what we have to do now is take a step back. Xavi, apparently on Thursday, he is going to start Frenkie de Jong in place of Sergio Busquets. And I just want to know what he's going to do for the rest of the season. It's not just about one game here. It's not just about dropping Busquets for one, then bringing him back in and everything's okay again. What's going to happen for the rest of the season? What's going to happen in the biggest of games? Because this, what we keep seeing, what we keep talking about over and over and over again, it can't continue. However, the problem right now for me, guys, is that actually the problems are even deeper than that. It's not just about one player. It's not just about drop Busquets and suddenly everything will be magically better again. Of course, that's a step in the right direction, but the problems run further than that too. Because I think right now, if you're looking at our defensive setup as a whole, it does kind of feel like we're playing with one arm behind our back. And I don't think I've ever missed a defender quite like I miss Ronald Araujo right now. You think about how that game could have looked last night with him. You think about the Inter game, how different it could have been with Araujo in our backline. It would have been night and day. It would have been a stark contrast from what we saw. And even having somebody like Christensen available would have allowed us yesterday to play Koundé at right back, to remove Roberto from the team, which is also something that we need to do, of course. Obviously, Xavi does not have his strongest defensive options available to him right now, and I accept that. Because here's the thing, with that in mind and knowing what we do about the injuries that we have, I would accept some dodgy defending. I would accept here some of the stupid, basic mistakes that we're seeing at the back and teams scoring against us if we at least look dangerous down the other end. If at least we looked like we could score goals and that we could score more than we're conceding. But the problem is right now, guys, we don't look like we can score. And I'm not talking about 3, 4, 5 goals. We are struggling to score at all. It is really difficult for us right now in the final third. And every single game, we look puzzled. We look confused. We look out of ideas, no matter what kind of team we come up against. Whether it's a deep block against Inter, we couldn't break them down. Whether it's Real Madrid, who weren't sitting as deep. There were more spaces available, but still, we couldn't find our way through. We don't know what to do right now in the final third. And even Xavi, after the game, he admitted as much. Even he admitted that he is actively worried about the way we're attacking. He said, I'm worried that we're not attacking well. We don't take advantage of the moments that we have. And that is a very, very accurate quote indeed right there. And that speaks volumes about what we're doing or failing to do right now. And I want to talk here about Dembele and Raphinha. That is certainly a topic that we have to come on to, because I would ask the question right now to you guys is, can they or should they be playing together at the same time? Because for me, what we've seen over these past few weeks, what we've seen throughout the season so far, on that basis, I would say no. I would say that it is not working to have two of them in the lineup at the same time. Because one thing, guys, they never combine. Those two together don't ever come into contact with each other. Now, during pre-season, we saw them linking up. We saw them actually coming in field, actually interchanging at times, combining with passes, assisting each other. But since the season has started, they don't go near each other. One of them is out wide to the left, one of them is out wide to the right, and the only time they even switch is when the one out to the left is not in the game. And then he wants to come on to his favoured side. And for me, they are too similar right now. They are two similar type of profiles in those wider areas, and in trying to cram both of them into the same team, trying to have them both out there at all times, what we're actually doing is failing to get the best out of either of them. Which brings us on now to Ansu Fati, and I just simply have to talk about him and highlight this, because simply, guys, he has to play more. And we have to do that now. He is one of the very few genuine goal threats that we have in and around the penalty area, along with Lewandowski. He is a player who can cause danger. He is a player who can score a goal, who can create something out of nothing. He has to be on the field a lot more than he is right now. And I would even go as far to say, if he doesn't start playing more, guys, if we don't start to see him in starting lineups, playing more minutes in games, then honestly, we are not being told the full story with Ansu Fati. Because based on talent, based on quality, based on what he would bring to a Barcelona team, he should be in this team a lot more. And even somebody like Ferran Torres as well, guys, came on yesterday. I thought he had a good cameo. I thought not just the goal, but actually over to the right-hand side. And even him, he's more comfortable on the right too. We've seen him a lot of the time at Barca playing off to the left. And it seems like right now, we stockpile right wingers. We have so many players in that front line that are much more comfortable on the right instead of the left. And that's obviously a problem. And that comes down there to planning and understanding the players you have and finding a way to get the best out of them. And that's not working right now. And I just think in general, when you're looking at our front line, when you're looking at our attacking play right now, the one thing that I just need to see more of, it's chemistry. I would like to see our front line look as though they can all play together, that they can combine together, that they understand each other and the runs and the kind of profiles that they are, different types of players. Because you think about last season, and especially direct contrast there, you think of last season at the Bernabeu. Barca scored 4 goals without reply against Real Madrid. And you just think back to the way our attacks were flowing. You just think about the clear plan that we had, the ideas that obviously the players there were able to carry out. They were all performing in their roles, that they were all gelling and combining and having chemistry between them. We need to bring that back, and Xavi has to find a way here. We've spoken about the front three a lot. He has to find the best one that not only has the most quality, the highest profile players, but a front three there that works and that can combine together, that has different threats and has chemistry above all else. And there is a lot of work right now. There is a lot of work that Xavi has to do, because we have to find answers. We have to come up here with answers, and quickly, to many of these questions, because the games, they're not going to stop. Nobody's going to wait around for us. The season is still going on, and we got to hit back immediately. Thursday against Villarreal, that is not going to be an easy game. And like I say, from that game and moving forward, Xavi must make the calls to help this team. Please do leave all of your thoughts in the comments down below. We have discussed a lot of different things today, so please let me know everything that you are feeling on Xavi, on Busquets, on the way the team looked yesterday, on our attacking play, and on what you feel would be the best, most suitable front three at Barcelona. Please do let me know, guys, all of that down below. I will be seeing you soon, both here and as well on more TalkFCB, because there is so much that we have to discuss. I will see you then, guys. Thank you as always for your continued support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.